Hi, everyone, and welcome to our understanding, our Exploring English Language and Culture Facebook Live. I'm joined by Tina, Sally, and Chris, educators on the course. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Neil.
And we'll be here for the next 30 minutes or so to answer all your questions about anything related to exploring English language and culture. But especially this week, we'll be answering questions on, what's the topic, Sally?
Music.
Music. Music's our topic this week. So if you have any questions about UK music, singers, songs, anything to do with that at all, ask us in the comments. And of course, any other questions you have, post them in the comments too. And just say hi and let us know where you're from as well. Okay, so let's begin. Who wants to tell us a little bit about what we've been doing this week on the course? Volunteers?
Tina?
Tina, okay.
How is it? Can you hear me? Because I know
Yes.
that at the moment I've got a very big storm and high winds outside, so the internet keeps dropping. So I apologise, everyone.
So long as they're outside, that's okay.
Yes, that is. So this week was all about music, as Neil said. It's one of my favourite weeks, and I think quite a lot of you enjoyed it here on the course. So if you haven't joined the course, do come and find us on there. We'll share a link to it. We asked you what you thought of British music, first of all. And many popular names came up, like Adele, Beatles, Wham, Michael Jackson, Robbie Williams, and Amy Winehouse was very popular as well. Some of you tried to learn English through listening to music. Some of you just liked music. Some people didn't even listen to any music. So there's a real variety on the actual course. The next step for me was brilliant, was where we asked you to actually sing a song in English. Lots of you tried, and it's fantastic to listen to you all having a go. Many of you just commented because you didn't want to sing, and I can totally understand that, and I take my hats off to those that you did. We're all hoping that Neil, who I'm not sure if he's there for you, but that's where he is for me, I think.
I'm always there for you. Come on.
He's going to, that was so corny. He's going to sing a song and leave it on there for you as well. We also talked about the SOCO project. What can you remember, you lot, about the SOCO project?
Sally, I think it's time for you to take over on that one. Or Chris.
No, Sally.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
The SOCO project. The Southampton Music project.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Chris, you know more about it than me. You know what it stands for. I was trying to remember what it stands for.
I can't remember what it stands for, but it's a project in Southampton on the south coast of England. It's a space for young people to go and practice music, because Neil's a musician. He knows how difficult it can be to find places to rehearse and to practice recording and get used to the studio and things. So the SOCO project is creating an opportunity for young people to make music, play music to an audience in a really nice space in Southampton. They might be having a difficult time at the moment. I don't know. The videos from a few years ago, but I hope they're doing okay at the moment.
Yeah, you just have to ask my downstairs neighbour how difficult it is to kind of get someplace to play. It's the only time I see them is when they come to complain about the noise.
Anyway, I hope they're watching today.
On the course, I want to say, on the course, we also talked about music festivals, which of course at this present moment in time there are no music festivals, probably. Maybe there are in some places in the world, but that was quite a popular post or a page on the course with people sharing what they'd seen. Some people hadn't been to any music festivals. In fact, I don't think I've really been to any festivals. Neil, Chris, you must have done. Sally?
There's actually a festival going on here now in Barcelona, because it's the sort of birthday, the fiesta, the festival of Barcelona at the moment, and there's lots. It's normally when loads of bands come to play, but they've been having some events online, and then some events with sort of spaced audiences.
Yeah, I've attended a few virtual festivals this summer, and it's something. Of course, it's not the same.
Not the same. Yeah.
I love festivals. I've gone to so many. I've lost count of how many festivals I've been to. But
yeah, I mean, on the course we talk about Glastonbury, and I haven't been to Glastonbury for a few years, since the year the Rolling Stones played. I can't remember what year that was.
You're too old, Chris, now. No,
Well,
surely.
no, it was only a few years ago. Not
the Rolling Stones was about 5 years ago, I think.
Oh, was
At my age, Tina, your memory goes, so I can't really remember. But
How were they? Were they good, Chris?
yeah, in parts. I think they needed a big space in the middle so they could have a sit down. I hope they're not watching as well. So
yeah, don't we all? Don't we all? Okay, questions are coming in so fast and comments are coming in so fast. I literally can't even begin to keep up because they're disappearing as soon as I see them. But we have people joining us from Bangladesh, from Palestine, Egypt, Tunisia, Iraq, Algeria. Lots more coming. Ethiopia. Israel, Sri Lanka,
Sudan, Cambodia. I can see them all.
Cambodia,
That's great.
Italy,
Kurdistan,
Sudan, lots more. North Macedonia, lots of them there. So that's great to see everyone here. We've just been talking a little bit about music and festivals, and maybe you can tell us in the comments, if how you feel, if you miss live music, and if you're looking forward to sometime getting back to there. But let's start with some questions that have come in on the course, and let's start with our very first question, which came from. Bear with me for one moment. There we go. Yes. Okay, from Mingao. Could you please give us a list of classic English songs, any genre, that every English learner should know about? This is always a tough question, isn't it? Because, like Chris mentioned, his advanced years a moment ago. I mean, age plays a part in this, I guess. What older people like is probably not the same as what young students like and what ones to go with. So what would you say, Sally? I mean, any choices that you would go with that are like universal? Or
well, I think that the classic would be the Beatles. So I actually just asked my husband, who's here working at home as well in the other room, I said, what's your favorite Beatles song? And he said Penny Lane.
Okay.
And he said that he likes it because he likes the tune and he likes the sort of feel of it and the sort of 60s optimism. But that is from the 60s. It's a very long time ago, isn't it? But I mean, the Beatles people still like the Beatles. People still love the Beatles today.
Sure.
And I think, speaking as an English teacher, the thing about the Beatles is that they wrote some songs for elementary level, like Hello, Goodbye. And then they wrote some songs for more advanced learners, like...
Was that part of their plan, Chris?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yes.
I think so. If you start off with Hello, Goodbye, that's kind of beginner lesson. And then you end up with I Am the Walrus or Come Together or something a bit, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, something a bit more complex for more advanced learners. So that was a good plan on their part.
We've got lots of people commenting already that the Beatles have helped them learn English and that they use them, and people saying that, and Hey Jude and things are in there as well, and how much they helped them. Apart from, okay, let's move. Let's try and move at least into this millennium. Are there any kind of more recent artists that you think songs are really good for language learners?
Well, it's two questions. So Mingao's question is two questions, really, because it's a question about classic songs and it's a question about songs for language learners. And those two things aren't the same thing. But so I do use a lot of songs with students in the classroom, but they might not be the sort of songs that I choose to listen to myself. So do we need to answer this question in two different ways? And also the other thing is that lots of the songs that I use as a teacher and as a listener aren't British. Are we only allowed to say British songs?
No, I don't think we need to be that now.
English language songs, no?
Okay.
Yeah.
Tina's got a list, haven't you?
I mean, I think songs that have got a story are really good. Whatever, there's lots of those. I mean, even up to current songs, and some songs that have like quite things that are good for pronunciation to practice because of the way the sounds go together are really good as well.
Well, I mean, that's why I think on the course, when we ask people to sing a song, I mean, it's fun listening to people singing, and thank you to everyone who has left a song, because it's great to listen to you. But also singing like that is a really good way to practice pronunciation, I think.
Yeah.
And not just pronunciation, there's obviously the rhythm and the stress when you're singing. It's great practice as well. We still haven't named any songs though.
Well, let's bring Tina in for that, because the artists you mentioned earlier, it's like your playlist. So I'm sure you've got lots of songs that spring to mind.
I've got a list, but not necessarily.
There you go. See,
not necessarily this It's not just songs. I've got the sort of bands, but I mean, we have to mention Spice Girls.
Do we?
No, he did say this century.
This century.
But they're still using. We had a concert last year, and it was packed, wasn't it? It was absolutely amazing. I wish I'd gone. And a lot of people know their songs. What else? Adele. Have you got a favourite song? A lot of people know her and her songs.
Very popular choice on the course. Lots of people love Adele. Definitely, it's one of the top ones.
Yeah.
Adele and Ed Sheeran are probably the most popular globally for the people on our course.
Then I had so going back a few years, even though you say we've got to keep it sort of now, I'm not going to do that. Cliff Richard, Tom Jones, come on, they've got some classics.
A few years, Tina.
And then what else? Then I moved it forward.
That's not even the last century.
Oasis, I thought was a good one. They've got some good Wonderwall. Come on, people know that song.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've done that in class before. Yeah.
Yeah. See. For now, I don't know songs. Now they're all sort of. Who's that one? George Ezra. He's English, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And lots of
he's got some lovely songs.
Take That in One Direction have been suggested by Ana Gonzalez.
Yeah, I've got Take That on here. I've got that on my list. And Gorillaz.
Are we playing bingo now?
Lisa Stansfield, some Claudia says as well.
Okay, lots of ones coming in.
Wham! Come on.
Yeah.
George Michael. It's so exciting. There's so many songs to learn from.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grandma.
Yeah.
We should mention, shouldn't we, lyrics training.
Rabab Galai
yeah.
Rabab Galai suggesting James Blunt. So honestly, I don't think you need us. I mean, I think your suggestions in the comments are great, and just keep
ABBA.
Yep, lots of ones coming in. Tanvir Kazi with ABBA there now as well.
Yeah.
Lots
ABBA
of
would be great for. Well, they're not English. I mean, they're not. They sing in English, don't they? But they're from Sweden.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
there is a very good website that we recommend on the course, and now, which I'm not sure we can actually share a link to it in the comments, but we could do later, which is called.
Are you suggesting?
What's it called?
Lyrics Training? Is that the one you're mentioning?
Lyrics training, yeah.
Yep.
Lyric training.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's an excellent thing to do because it gives you the video so you can watch it, and then it has different what's the word? Different levels. Yeah, levels. Sorry, forgot the word then. And so you can do really easy to fill in the blanks, sing along. It's great. Definitely got to have a go.
Sia, Billie Eilish, and Sam Smith are all coming up there as well now. There.
Look, Elvis Presley.
Yeah. We have lots of suggestions, so that's fine. So you don't need our suggestion. It's much better if you share them yourselves. So that's great. Okay, let's move on because there are so many comments coming in, but there are some questions in here as well. Hold on just one second. Someone's saying that the captions are not appearing for you, Tina. So you've defeated Facebook.
He might just need to refresh.
Okay. It's okay. Hold on. There we go. Did I get it? It's going so fast.
I know it's hard to get the questions when there's so many
The scroll
questions.
button. Hold on. Right there. Yes. From Yamita Hewitt, who's obviously a teacher, who's saying, recently I asked my students to work on songs like I Say a Little Prayer by Aretha Franklin. That is a great one because, again, the lyrics work really well for students, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, daily routine as well. And I think what you said earlier, Neil, about I think lots of teachers use songs, the different things you can do with songs, like a gap fill, listening for words and things, and you might ask people to find rhyming pairs of words and then put those pairs into the song. But they're also, songs can let you do things with the story as well. So you can use story songs for a role play. And again, I'll show my age, but something like, The Human League, Don't You Want Me?
I do.
You know that it's a classic song. I hope people know Don't You Want Me by The Human League. Well, that's a song that gives you two sides of a story. You hear what the boy in the relationship has to say, and then you hear what the girl in the relationship has to say, and then you can ask your students to role play the conversation between them after the song and things. So there's lots of fun you can have as a teacher with songs, not that aren't just about the actual language of the songs. That can take you to other places.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get I get students to bring their own songs in as well.
Yeah.
The songs that they like, but they have to follow certain rules, like they can't have inappropriate language, and they have
that brings us to the next question that's just appeared on our screen.
Yeah.
Which Ramzat Abdullah is saying, Eminem songs with lyrics, a lot of words for one song. And yeah, as you say, I mean, it's one of the first things I do in any of my teen classes is I get them to kind of make a playlist for things that we can have a look at, and then I can decide what ones we can do something with and work out activities. But yeah, obviously inappropriate language is something that you have to be careful of. But it is great. And of course, you can find all the lyrics online. You can find the website that I just shared the link to, Lyrics Training, which has thousands of songs. Almost every song I look for is on there. So that really helps as well. And of course, YouTube videos with subtitles. You can sing along and practice your karaoke as well. Okay, let's move on.
Have we lost Tina?
She says she's waiting to go live.
Yep, hold on. I'll bring her back. She'll be back in a second.
There she is.
Now, this is an interesting question from Farhan Alami Pakruddin, who's saying there are many English songs that are mixed with other languages, Japanese, Korean, Malay, Chinese. In your opinion, unfortunately, it's...
Can you remember?
The actual question has gone now from my screen, and it doesn't show up here. He was asking about code switching and whether whether songs help to learn standard English, or if there's any problem with that. Chris, maybe you could say something about that, about the relationship of standard English and the mix of, he's mentioning different languages, but maybe slang terms or terms that are very specific.
The thing that I see most often from younger people who've learned things from songs is that gonna and wanna, and not realizing that that a lot of songs will contract going to into gonna and want to, and not realize that wanna and gonna are not standard English. That in different contexts you can't use them. You certainly can't use them in formal written English.
The question a few people are asking here, Valeria Leonor, Mike Tim Firpo is asking the same thing. Oh, that's the wrong one, sorry. That's someone recommending Keen. I'll be with you in a moment.
No, I have to say the same thing, Chris. It's definitely that.
Go on, Sally.
It's definitely those particular expressions, isn't it? Wanna, gonna. But it does mean that these students are pronouncing things they're pronouncing them really well, but obviously you can't use that in an essay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think, and there are other things. I mean, lots of songs do use language that you wouldn't. But that's like any language that you're learning. That's like anything really. You need to have an understanding of register and the context.
And that's why I think the process, I think any songs and all songs are good and useful. And if you're singing along in English, no matter what it is, whether it's even with inappropriate language, it's still helping you a lot with your pronunciation, your fluency,
Yeah.
your confidence, your rhythm, and then the process of learning. As Chris says, the different register. Okay, that language is language that I really should not use in my job interview, and things like that. But this language is stuff that people talk about with their friends, fine, and stuff like that. That process helps you to get a better understanding of the language and
Definitely. And when I was saying inappropriate language, what I mean is it's inappropriate for the classroom.
Yeah.
You've got to be able
for young learners.
Yeah, you've got to be able to use all the language, but
so somebody in the comments just mentioned "ain't" as being another one of those words.
Yeah. And that's there are things like that, and even that is actually as a process of noticing and stuff like that, it really is quite interesting because song lyrics have to fit in with the rhythm and with the length of the line. So sometimes people do think they miss out words that should be there grammatically. They use a word like "ain't" that they probably wouldn't use in British English very often in everyday speech, but they use it in a song because it's one syllable shorter than the alternative and stuff. So there's lots of stuff to just learn and just become interested in and play with that. And I think it's great. Francesca's just saying that uses songs in different classes for children up to university students and elderly people, and it's really motivating and a good way to learn. And I agree with Francesca.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say that Lola was asking, how can I join the course?
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got, we're going to add a link, aren't we? If we have.
We are. I'm going to add a link right now as we speak. You three can chat among yourselves while I do that.
Okay. Tina, what were you going to say? Because I know you put your hand up as well.
Yeah, but that was ages ago.
Can you remember what you were going to say, though?
It was actually to do with wanna and gonna and stuff like that. Is that a lot of people use it in texts as well. So it's not the best thing to learn, but teenagers, English speakers as well, not just but they use language like that as well. That it's not something we recommend, but it is commonly used.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just to move on from that, I mean, Whitman Brian Eduardo is saying hello from Mexico City, and do you recommend songs to teach English? I think after our discussion there, we can all agree that the answer is
yes.
Yes, for all ages.
And somebody else asked, I'm sorry I missed the name because it's moving so quickly, but somebody else asked about using instruments in the classroom. Neil, are you the sort of teacher who takes the guitar into the classroom with you?
Rarely, but I have done in the past. I got one class to record their version of Santa Baby with the guitar and record it, and we put it on, and it was fantastic. They did a great job. So, yes, the answer is yes. We would recommend them. As to how to use them, I think we'll put some links in here later because we have good videos and good lesson plans and good ideas on our Teaching English website, and so we'll share those. And for anyone who's interested in using songs for themselves, or if you're teachers using it with your students, there's lots of ideas there to help you. Okay, let's move on. And
Tina's got a hand up. Tina wanted to say.
Tina.
I just wanted to mention that we also have some fabulous children's songs on our Learn English Kids website. And they're great for kids, but they're also good for any age because they, you can read them, you can sing along. There's printable transcripts or, what's it called? Lyrics. Sorry, I can't remember the word. So they're really good. And we can also put a link into those too. So even if you don't have children, have a look at them because they're a good thing to do and to sing along too. Yeah,
there's lots of them that are really fantastic. Some of them are classics, and we have a whole new series called Robot Songs that are songs that have just been developed newly that are really good and are really popular on our YouTube channel at the moment. So we'll put a link to those as well. Mariana Kamarazova is saying, I often use chants because they're very good for pronunciation and intonation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar?
Tina stole the cookie from the cookie jar.
Cheek.
That's not the next slide.
I thought it was because you were saying I was getting a bit chubby. I'd eaten too many cookies.
Gay Naga is saying, I see some instruments behind you guys. Could you please tell us something about that? Which kind of instruments are they? Behind me, you're right, I have a couple of guitars there to my left. The picture's flipped down round. I do know my left from my right. And at the right here, that's a very, very old organ like you used to get in Western prairie churches in the 19th century and things. And so that's it. Tina's got, what's the thing behind you in the wall, Tina?
Yeah, that's not something to play. I've got
It is. You just use that in an orchestra.
I've got one of these.
Okay, but what's the thing behind you in the wall?
It's a gong.
Okay.
It's a gong.
Sally, you don't have any instruments behind you.
Not here, but I've actually got an oboe, but in the other room.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I can't play anything. This is why I was asking Neil if you were the kind of teacher who took your guitar into the classroom.
Not every day, no.
That's the kind of teacher that always your students had that teacher before you, and you go into the classroom and they're really disappointed that the young, good-looking, cool teacher with the guitar isn't teaching them anymore, and they've got you. So
yes, it's 20 years since I was the young, good-looking anything, though, to be honest. Okay, right. Let's see. We don't. Sally.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a very important day.
Sorry.
Tomorrow's a very important.
Oh yeah, it's the day of European. No, it's the European Day of Languages tomorrow. Saturday, 26th of September. So we want to talk a little bit about languages. Do we?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm not, to be honest, a big linguist. I mean, I studied French at school. I speak enough Slovak to get by in my daily life here. That's about it. A tiny little bit of German. How about you three? What languages do you speak? Chris, your hand moved up there, which...
it moved up in horror like that.
Us British people are famous or infamous, aren't we, for being terrible at languages? Ironic. Well, not. I was going to say ironically, but it's not really ironically. Because
I'm just thinking about what. So tomorrow, Saturday, is the European Day of Languages, and we're just thinking about what do people know what the European Day of Languages is?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so Chris, tell us a little bit about the European Day of Languages.
Well, it's a day jointly organised by the Council of Europe and the European Union to promote plurilingualism. Because is that right? Plurilingualism. In the European Union, there are, I don't know how many different languages, and this is a day to promote all of those different languages. You know, the fact that all of Europe communicates with each other in various languages. So this is a day about celebrating that range of languages across Europe. But then, as we said, we come on to the British and languages. And I mean, Sally, you speak Spanish fluently, don't you? And Catalan?
I speak Spanish kind of fluently, but with lots of mistakes in. And Catalan, I'm always trying to learn Catalan, so my Spanish is better than my Catalan. But I mean, I've lived here for a long time. Actually, now since lockdown, it's been more difficult to actually practice because you don't get to go out so much.
Yeah.
But you've lived in Spain as well, Chris. You learned Spanish when you were in Spain.
See, no, I mean, like Neil, I'm not a great linguist. I've always learned I've lived in different places, and I've always learned enough of the language to be able to get by. So to do the basic things that you have to do in a country, to be able to shop and restaurants and bars, but that kind of kitchen Spanish, you might call it. And the same with Slovak. You know, I can shop and I can order a meal. But when we start talking about anything more complex than that, I couldn't have a conversation about philosophy in Spanish.
That's what I lived in Egypt for a bit, and that was my sort of level of my Arabic, and I think I've forgotten it all now. But Tina, what about you? How's your Italian?
Comes and goes.
Didn't you do a conversation?
I just joined a conversation circle near where I live, and I went for the first time last night, and I was a little bit worried because I had visions of us all having to wear masks, and I'm very much one for quite like to see the face and the expressions, but it was very good. We sat outside a cafe and had a glass of wine. Am I allowed to say that? Yes. And
too late now.
And it was quite good. It was like every 20 minutes you moved on to the next person. So it's a bit like speed dating, but language dating, I think. But what was strange and why I wanted to mention it was one woman said to me that her husband never spoke English, even though he learned it at school. But one of the main things he remembers, and he only ever came out with it when he'd had a few to drink, was the expression, "It's raining cats and dogs."
Oh, really?
Let's cut that conversation off right there.
I remember meeting someone, a Spanish friend of mine, said that all she could remember from learning English in school was sit down and shut up. But I just noticed in the comments that Nino, was it Nino who is Georgian and living in Hungary, just talking about how difficult they're finding it to learn Hungarian there. And I do remember Hungarian being.
I mean, I'd live right next to Hungary and go there quite often, and Budapest is one of my favorite cities, but the language has, I have to admit, defeated me.
Well, it'd be interesting to hear what people think about. Sometimes you hear people say, "Oh, English is really difficult." Some people say, "Oh, English is quite easy." Do you believe that some languages are easier to learn than others? I mean, to me, it all seems to come from what your language background is.
Yeah. I mean, I think languages that are related to yours in some way are always going to be easier. So like, Romance languages, if you're Romanian, it's going to be easier for you to learn Spanish and Italian and stuff. And for us, it's probably going to be easier for German and Scandinavian or Dutch languages. But yeah, I mean, inherently, I don't think any language is more difficult than any other. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it depends on your starting point, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I think, but let's see what people say.
Okay, I just popped that question up a while ago because it was one of the only ones I could grab, and it is a good question, so I'm just going to deal with it very quickly. Tet Wylin is asking the meaning of "how do you do" and when should we use it. This is a really good one because it's one that comes up in a lot of books, but in daily life, I don't think I've ever actually used it myself. I don't know. How about you, Chris?
No, if I remember rightly, from in the mists of time, the correct answer to "how do you do" is "how do you do."
Yes,
right?
That's right. It's just an alternative for hello, a very polite, very formal alternative for hello. And I thought maybe you might have used it in one of the many award ceremonies that you've attended. But
it reminds me of the sort of like Sherlock Holmes, the old version of Sherlock Holmes, that kind of.
It's quite old-fashioned, maybe in an Agatha Christie or something.
Yeah.
I mean, the mistake that I think people make is they think it means the same as "how are you," and it's not. I mean, "how are you" is the answer is going to be fine or great, having a things like that. And "how do you do" is not really a question. It's just hello in another form, a very polite form.
Yeah.
But usually shaking hands. Well, maybe not these days. Actually,
I mentioned awards there, but it really is something that you might use at something like that, some kind of very formal event where you're being introduced to someone,
royalty.
Yeah, royalty or a politician or somebody or an ambassador, and you might go, "how do you do?" and they might go, "how do you do?" to you. But I mean, that's really the only time. Okay.
Someone has said that "how do you do" is replaced by what's up? What's up?
Yes, the meaning's the same, but yeah, they're not really. they're not really interchangeable in the context. You know, if you were meeting a very important person, I would say "What's up" is not the choice.
Some people are saying what they think about what. How easy someone, for example, Francesca was saying Italians will never say that English is easy. But I think someone also disagreed with that and said it is relatively easy. Yeah. It's interesting to see what people think about how difficult things are. Yeah. So actually, there's Nino again saying that their background in Georgian makes Hungarian a little bit more easy.
Okay.
Jenny Woodfield saying, I'm British and I found French and Spanish easier than German. Sure. And Alec Gonzalez is just agreeing with us and saying it depends on your previous knowledge and everything you learn. So lots of comments coming in there. We're kind of running out of time, I think, at this point. I'm just going to take a quick look through to see if I find any different topics and different questions to kind of have a look at.
Can I mention the topic for next week?
Yes.
And next week, in Exploring English, we are talking about the countryside. No?
We are indeed. We're talking about countryside, and we're talking about...
And we get to share, or we ask our participants to share a picture from outside their window, which is lovely, and there's already some there. So do come and join us. Now he's going to play the music over me speaking. How can that be?
It's the timing because of the delay. You think it's over you, but it's not.
Are you going to play us a tune then, Neil?
Well, just as you do that, Mooks is asking in the comment if we'd love to hear you sing an English song. So maybe to finish this session, Neil.
Well, okay.
An English song, not a Scottish one.
I'm going to sing a Scottish song, and I'm going to sing a Scottish song because of what Tina just said. Because next week we're looking at the different parts of the UK, the differences, the similarities, the four countries, the four nations that make up the UK: Scotland, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So we've had a couple of questions about a song. So I'll just do a quick one verse of a song to play us out. Okay. Oh, soon shall I see them, oh, hero. See them, oh, see them. Oh, soon shall I see them, the mist-covered mountains of home. And that's enough of that, I think. A very, very old, hundreds-year-old folk song from Scotland. So,
okay, I'm just watching the lots of people. We've started a really nice discussion there. Sunrise is that because we talked about next week being about the countryside.
Yep.
Sunrise just asked what countryside? What does countryside mean?
Okay. So, Sally, would you like to talk a little bit about what that means?
The countryside, it's talking about the area that's outside the city, like could be the hills, the mountains, it could be the beach, but there's the rural areas outside of the city.
All the beautiful natural, landscapes and everything else that you deal with there. But if you join the course, if you haven't joined the course yet and join us next week, then you'll see, because we have some beautiful films from all around the United Kingdom of some of the most beautiful parts of the country. And as Tina said, we ask you to share photos from your country as well. So you'll get to see some amazing destinations, which, with so many of us stuck at home at the moment, is more precious than ever, I think. Okay, so last words before we go. Chris, any last words for our viewers?
No, I don't think so. Thank you. Well, it's really interesting I'm sort of talking to you at the same time. I'm watching the discussion in the comments, and and I'm really interested to follow that. And I'd really like to see you on the course and have the discussion with you there, because there's lots of interesting ideas there. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, Sally, any last words?
I just wanted to mention a comment that I saw on the course today. While I was having a quick look through from from one of the course participants who said that they were having so much fun that they didn't even notice they were in class, and I think that's the real element of the course.
Yeah.
So please join our course and come and have fun and talk to us and talk to each other.
I have to say that, you know, I think that's one of our one of the main advantages and one of our main goals in all of the Future Learn courses that we offer, the IELTS courses, the Exploring English one, all the ones for that we have, is that they really are fun and they don't feel like work. I mean, they're like talking to lots of friends around the world about stuff. It's great.
They won't pay you, Neil, if you keep saying that.
Tina, you get the very last word. Well, the second last word.
Only one word.
As
Was that it?
many as you want.
No. The what I'm going to say is thanks for coming today. Join the course, but also stay safe, everyone.
Okay. And that's it. And we shall see you again next week to talk about the countryside and all the things to do with that. Thanks for all your great questions. And as Chris says, there's some fantastic suggestions and discussions going on in the comments. So take a look, then come and join our course and carry on the discussion there. So bye for now.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.